Hello everybody, Neil from BookBolt here, and welcome to the weekly live call. So hopefully you have all had a great Thanksgiving or at least holiday break if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving in your country. We're going to get everyone in here. Looks like there are quite a few people joining, so if you could just drop a comment, make sure you can hear me. I think I have my mic set up and everything. Looks like I'm getting a little bit of a playback error, so let me just refresh the page. Make sure everything, guys, if you could just drop me a comment. Yes, I can hear you well. Iara, thank you. Awesome. Good to go. Awesome. All right. So hopefully you guys had an amazing kind of break week. You've been working on your KDP business. If this is your first time joining these weekly live calls, welcome. If this is your 5th, 6th, 10th, I think we're on number, it looks like 37th time. If you joined every time, welcome back. The reason why we hold these live calls is to make sure that we can get you guys over any problems or humps or issues that you're running into with your KDP business, so you can get to the fun part, which is creating and publishing books on Amazon. So like I do every week, we're going to go through and I'm going to show you guys a low content niche, and then I'm going to go through line by line in the questions that you have. So drop them in the YouTube chat. If that is not available for you, you want to log in to BookBolt. Go to weekly calls, top menu right here. It's going to be a big blue button, and you're going to land on this page. You simply want to click on the link here, which will bring you over to YouTube. Also, something to note, big something to note before we jump into this here, we have decided, actually Mark in the comments here has convinced me to open up the Facebook group for the studio. So if you guys go and you click on this link, it'll bring you over to the Facebook group. Go ahead and join that. The goal here is to kind of answer questions as they come in so that we are not going over the exact same questions every single week. So that link's going to be right here, but this is going to be the live call. So I'm going to go over the low content niche, and I'm going to start looking at questions so you guys can start dropping those down in the comments. Now, for this week's low content niche, all I did was I went to the BookBolt Cloud. This took me like 10 seconds, okay? So I went to the BookBolt Cloud. I looked at the top 500 in the planner category, right? I instantly scrolled way down here, and let's see if I can find it. It's right here. This one caught my eye. Very simple screenwriting project planner. I clicked on this and I realized, hey, this is a pretty consistent seller over the last couple of months. It's not the best seller out there, but it is selling, right? I went over to the product search. I just typed in screenwriting. Hey, what's out there? What are people buying? Looked at some of these keywords over here. A lot of search volume in this niche. Went over to Amazon. Typed in screenwriting planner, there's under 1,000 results. And if you go through here, you're going to notice that they are selling, right? Some script planners. We have this one up here, $8.99, so higher price, making pretty good royalties. So that is going to be the low content niche of the day. Also, something to keep in mind is when you see this right here, a good idea is to scroll down to the bottom, click on the second or third page to see if this changes, and in this case it does not. So under 1,000 results means, number one, we found inside of BookBolt, looking at this, there's customer demand, right? There's sales occurring over a span of time, not just once and never again. So there's sales occurring. We looked in the product search, we looked at related keywords, we realized, hey, there's search volume, there's demand in the niche for screenwriting type of books. Then we went to Amazon. We looked at a specific keyword and realized that it's really all about the keywords, right? If you typed in another keyword like screenwriting journal, for example, this number is going to be a lot higher, but you can lower that competition for the main keywords you're targeting in a much broader niche. So that is how we got to 810 results. All right, guys, let's jump into it. That's going to be low content niche of the week. I'll probably refer to this as I'm going through comments, but make sure to like the video, subscribe, really helps out the channel. I think you've probably heard that from every single YouTube video ever, so I do have to mention that. So I'm going to scroll up to the very top of the comments and start going line by line, so drop them down below, and we will get going here. Jenny, nice to see you. Summer Skies, T Can't Wait, Mark. Shahida, now if I'm butchering your name, I do apologize. It's not on purpose. Jenny, my book bolt questions are: when will it be possible to export data from the Book Scout feature, or maybe a copy button to copy keywords presented? So I think Mark did answer this question a little bit down below. Right now, you're going to want to wait till every single result is actually come back, and then you can just copy paste everything. I did write down a note before I got going on the live here to see if we can add a button to download results. We might be able to push that in a future update. P. Coleman, hello everyone. Mark, all right, let's see. Farmhouse BC, hello. Sold 11 books to people I don't know, and 1 in Japan. I need to show them on social media, just need the time. That's awesome. You've proven the concept to yourself, so this might be some information you don't necessarily need. Maybe you've heard me say it before. If you sold 11 books, you've clearly found a market fit, right? Look at the books you have already done that are selling. The easiest way to expand your KDP catalog is to do more of the same. Now, don't just do the same interior and same cover and list it 5 times. Look at why it sold, what people like about it, and just do more in that niche because you already know the keywords that are converting for you. Gwen Davis, hello. How you doing? Wanda, hello. Fellow book boltors. Barbara, good afternoon. Oklahoma, nice. Wood Sisme 2003, hey everybody. T, would love to learn how to change or modify pre-made interiors. So I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to go into the studio here, and we have been actually pushing some updates. We have a really large update coming soon that is going to change the way some of these things look. We're going to move some things around, a lot of back-end fixes. That being said, we've put a lot of time and effort. Actually, Mark in the comments has done a lot of this for us. If you go to the help menu, I want to bring your attention to the Book Bolt knowledge base. We've been adding a lot of content here. So if you click over to here, you're going to land on this website, which is going to have a ton of different articles. And actually, if you click into the frequently asked questions and you scroll down, you are going to find that one right here. Okay, so there's a video. It's going to show you how to edit those pre-made templates inside of the studio. Now, if you're in the studio, I can just show you guys real quick. I'm going to remove, actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to click save. I'm going to come down here, get rid of this template real quick. The way you do this, and again, I want you guys to watch those tutorial videos, but the way you do this is you simply come in here. You'd add a template, so I'm going to add, how about this one? So we'll add this to the first page. We'll click on submit. This is going to add it to the actual page itself. And once it's added here, you'll notice, it says bills tracker, bills and month. Now, these do not have a right click and edit option, right? If I right click, you're not going to see an edit option because of the way these are created. So if you wanted to change these, I'm going to go ahead and lock this. What you'd want to do is add a shape over the top of what you want to change. So let's say we want to change bills tracker. Okay, so I'm going to do that. That looks horrible. So we're going to go up to the left-hand menu, top menu, select fill color and use this little pipette to select the background. Click OK, and then I'm going to lock that layer. And now I can come in here and add whatever I want to this. I can change the text or the font to anything I want and then save it up. And use that same template, but edit the text and edit the lines depending on what you are trying to create. So that is how you would do that. Good afternoon from Stafford, VA. Gwen, Vermont here. Okay, awesome. Olivia, morning all. We're finally getting some rain over here. We got a bunch of snow in Colorado a few days ago. Already melting here. All right, ER, yes, we can hear you well. Okay, I think I'm catching up on comments here. Loud and clear, awesome. Checking in from Myrtle Beach. Hi, everyone. Olivia, yep, can hear you. Gabriella can hear you from Denmark. Nice. What time is it over there? Victoria, yes, all right. Yes, hearing perfectly. Voice is breaking up. Hopefully not anymore. Let's see here. Mona, good morning, everyone. Can hear. Alana, Noel, Child of God, Opti. Hi, just wondering on pros and cons of pen names. So when it comes to pen names, my kind of personal preference for pen names is I use pen names to split apart different niches. Because think about this. You don't want your swear word coloring books mixing with your low content journals for kids, right? It's just not a good look. So when I use pen names, I try to come up with something that sounds like an actual publisher for each pen name, and then I kind of categorize the different books under those different pen names. Now, You don't have to do it that way. That's just the way that I personally do it. There's really no right or wrong way when it comes to pen names. The only wrong thing you can do is just keyword stuff your author name. Probably not the best idea to do that. I have seen Amazon send some emails about misleading content with those brand names if you're just stuffing keywords in there. Jennifer, when I've downloaded my book from BookBolt, there are 2 pages towards the beginners that have blur of color. My book is black and white. Jennifer, you will want to come up to the help menu here and put in a help ticket. When you do that, make sure to put your project ID so that we can actually take a look at that for you, but also make sure that you have a black and white interior selected as well. If you have a color interior selected and you put color on the page, it's going to download with that color. Is there any issue with creating all books under one name only? There is no issue with that. Opti, the thing is that I personally just don't think it's a good look, or business look, if you will, to have, kind of raunchy material next to children's books, for example. Right, so that's what I differentiate it, but you're not going to get in trouble by having everything under one brand name. That is certainly okay. Hello, Ashley from Arizona. I've been on here a few times, but now I for sure have questions. Drop them in the comments. Also, using your method, if you publish 10 books on average, how many of them would you expect to sell? So, Opti, if I publish 10 books, I fully expect 10 to sell. Now, is that always the case? No, right? Is that the case that they're going to sell in the next 24 hours? Absolutely not. But if you based your research, if you did your research and created great, unique products, I personally like to start up ads as soon as I publish a product to test it out as quickly as possible. That is also something that you want to take a look at. Sometimes you're going to sell things maybe once a month. Maybe once every 5 months you might sell a book. Does that mean that it is a loser? No, it's still selling. There's still demand there. There's not really something where you can sit down and go, all right, I expect this book to sell once per day, and if it doesn't, it's complete failure and I need to take it down. Like, that's not what we're talking about here. Just make sure you do your research first before you create, so that you have the expectation of, all right, I know this niche has demand in it, and if you put up a book and it's not selling, well, did you take a look at the competition? Like, how many other books or sellers are you up against? Did you take a look at what the other sellers are offering? Maybe your offering isn't better than theirs, or it's not different. Right, so there's so many different factors that go into it. Good morning. First time for me too. Awesome. Welcome, Dorada. Child of God, can you quickly explain BSR? So BSR, best sellers rank. Every single book on Amazon has one. So if I click on this book right here, if I scroll down here, I will notice this product details box. Okay, so it's got a best sellers rank in books. Now, if you don't see a best sellers rank, it means it has not sold. Now, the way that this works is it's essentially a floating number. It goes up and down based on every other product in the category that it has a sales rank for. So think about it like this. A BSR, a best sellers rank of 1, would be the best selling book on Amazon in relation to every single other book that is selling on Amazon. So if you see a BSR of like 10 million, probably not selling very well, but it has sold in the past. The longer they go without selling, the sales rank kind of climbs, goes up and up and up and up and up. The lower the sales rank, the more sales that it is experiencing. This number updates like 10, 15, 20, 30 times a day. So it's a good way to get an understanding of how well a book is doing, but it's not going to give you exact numbers of, hey, it sold exactly this amount. That's why you want to go and look at your reports inside of your KDP dashboard. Kale, hey, in your first email to me was included a graphic packet. When I downloaded it, I received an error code. How do I submit a help ticket? So inside of BookBolt, let me get in here, go to your name up here, and then click on support right here. Make sure to send a screenshot of that, and then they will be able to resend that to you. Olivia, I've had to take a break for some eye surgeries. Sorry to hear that. I've just joined a few months ago, and I'm starting over. What videos training are best to start with? So I am glad you brought that question up. If you go to the weekly calls menu, right here, this big blue button, and you scroll all the way to the bottom. So every single time, every single week, we hold these calls. They're recorded. You can rewatch them. But the 2 things you really want to pay attention to get a great understanding of the entire business as a whole, and I recommend everyone watch these videos, is the last 2 videos here. These are going to go over from beginning to end. Research, creating covers, keywording, a listing. Make sure everything is properly optimized and actually listing that product for sale. Now, I do realize these are a bit older. The information is still very, very good. So I definitely recommend watching these first, because it's going to go over, one, how to use BookBolt, but also how to do the research and apply that to your KDP business. Victoria, I sent a request for the Facebook group. Awesome, we'll get that approved for you. Currently, right now, my book is in review. It's been more than 72 hours, but I did see the longest it can take is 10 days. Is that correct? So if it takes longer than 72 hours, that is normal. Okay, I know they say it'll be live within 72 hours, but it really depends on Amazon KDP, how backed up they are, how many people are publishing books. Now, if you did everything correctly and there's nothing wrong with your book, it will eventually go live. Now, I have seen rare occasions where it can take 14 days for a book to go live. That is very rare. I've only seen that maybe once or twice. Most of the time, they're going to go live faster than 72 hours. So it looks like yours is lagging a little bit, but just try your best to be patient, and that will go through. Child of God, how do you create a cover only without having to have 75 pages? So inside of the studio here, okay, you'll go to Project. You'll go to New Project. You will use this right here to select paperback cover. Notice how this is not cover and interior. So cover, you still need to add the number of pages. Why? Because the pages are going to determine how wide the spine in your book is, but then you will only have a single cover to work with. Let's see here. Got to find my place in chat again. I don't seem to find my niche right now. Not sure what that means. Joy San Diego, on that subject, and forgive me if it's in BookBolt, I'm a newbie. Can I create my own template in the studio? You absolutely can. So if you come inside of the studio here, you create a new project. So let me just go ahead and open up. I think I created one right before I started this live. This is a completely blank project, right? It's a paperback book. It's 100 pages. I think it's 6x9. Yep. Cover, interior, bleed, and black and white. So if you want to create your own template, you can do so on a page, right? Now, there's every single page, but if you create a template on a page, so I'm just going to add a bunch of stuff. This isn't going to look good. Okay, so let's just say this is my fancy template I spent, an hour working on. It's only on one page. How on earth do I get it to every single page? You right-click the page, you clone that page, and you can select any page you want to move it throughout your entire project. Easiest way to do that, select all, deselect the cover, and then that's going to clone that single page that you worked on as your template across your entire project. Cleo, sorry, there's no translations in other languages. Cleo, I only speak English, which is unfortunate for me because I really wish I spoke other languages. But no, we do not have translations. George H., I'm just getting started. Where to start? I'm going to go back inside of BookBolt here. Weekly calls. These two videos are going to be crucial to the understanding of kind of your KDP business and kind of what to do, what to think about, and what to create in terms of your niche research. Let's see. Can you outline text for coloring books? So, Child of God, right now we do not have an outline text feature, but inside of the studio you can also, let me just go to a new page here. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to go to, let's see where that image was. I'm going to use this one I use all the time. If you have an image, you can actually outline the image by clicking on Outline Image. This is going to only work if you have an image that is similar to this, where the lighter colors are inside and you have dark black lines on the outside, where you can then just click on Outline Image here, and it's going to process that image into what I can then use as a coloring book page. So just like that. Cameron from Canada here, nice. Wanda, is there a way to add multiple pages to a project at one time from templates? So yes, if I'm understanding you correctly, so you'd come in here, you'd be like, hey guys, I want, let's just pick a simple one. Let's do ruled, let's do wide ruled, and this second page here, you'll be like, hey, I want that on page 3, 5, 8, and 10. You click on next, it's going to ask you for some options. I'm not going to do any of that, and then it's going to insert those templates one at a time. So 3, 5, 8, and 10 are going to have those aligned pages for you. Julia, good morning from Conifer, Colorado. Nice. I have a neighbor in the chat. Gabriella, 7 p.m. in Denmark. Nice. Love from Florida. Victoria, nice. Bunny Brown Jones, page numbers have been the bane of my existence. Is there an easy way to do this? After the whole book is completed, I forgot to add the numbers in the beginning. I highly, 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 highly recommend that you do page numbers at the very end of your project. So once you've created everything you want, the easiest way to do that is, let's just go through this. Select page 1, open up the page templates. You're going to select blank page with a page number. Now this blank page is going to overlay over all of the pages that actually have content on them. So notice the first 2 pages have content, so I'm just going to select those just to show you how this works. Click on next. I'm going to put the page number at the bottom right. We're going to go ahead and click on submit. It's going to add that blank template with the page numbers. Notice page 1, and if I go down here, page 2. And if I had selected all of the pages, it's going to go through and add every single number to the pages, starting from the page you pick. So if you came in here and you're doing this for the first time and you select 3, 4, it's going to put page 1, the page number, it's going to say page 1 on page 3. Page 2 would be here. Page 3 would be here. So hopefully that makes sense and is not too confusing. Good morning from Anaheim. Laura, nice to see you. Jeanette, where do I find graphics, black and white for coloring books such as flowers and animals? Jeanette, I do not have a specific place for you to get those. I highly recommend if you want to do coloring books that you actually use Upwork.com and hire a real artist. Therefore, your books are going to be unique. Let's see. Thanks. Of course, Mona Neal, please help me. I created a low-content book with Canva. Downloaded as a PDF when I tried to upload it to BB. It was rejected. Mona, we don't run Canva. I have no idea why that is. But if you have the PDF, 2 things here. 1, let's first try coming over to the file library, clicking on Upload PDF. This is going to allow you to upload what you've created. Now, it's going to ask you, so you use this, you'll select the PDF. It's going to ask you what type of margins are included in that file. If you've downloaded a PDF from BookBolt, you've either created a paperback or a hardcover with bleed or no bleed, but in your case, it's probably no margins, so you'd select that, upload the PDF, click on submit, and it will upload it into a folder, right? So I've done that right here. You'll notice there's page 1. I can then use that PDF by right-clicking and using it as a template for my entire project. Now, if that doesn't work, open up a help ticket from the help menu and make sure to put in your project ID. Tina, newbie from Ontario, nice to see you. Victoria, can I save a page in one project to another project? So Victoria, you can't do that right now, but the easiest way to do that is come up to the top menu. So let's say you created one page. Let's pick a page here, right? Let's pick page 1. Let's say this is your template. What you want to do, come to page and export this page as a PDF, okay? And then you'd start your new project. You'd come into the file library. You'd upload a PDF, and then from then on, it's going to upload and put it into a folder for you so that every single new project you have, you just right-click and use that as a template for your new projects. Let's see. Some sellers advise putting 10 books up and you will sell 1 consistently and a lot don't sell at all. Am I right in thinking unless there's something wrong with it, it will sell? No, you're definitely not wrong. People come up with these different, hey, out of every book, expect this many to sell. It's just complete and utter garbage because it's going to be based on your research, the competition, the keyword, like all of these little things that sales are based on. It's not just, hey, put up 10 books and expect X to sell. That is just definitely the wrong way to think about a KDP business. T, I signed up for the Pro package, did not get the puzzle package. Should I contact support? Can you show me where that is again? So if you have a Pro level account, you're going to have access to the puzzle interiors. If you don't, and you still see a button up here that says get Pro access, log out, re-log back in. That's number 1. If not, put in a help ticket. But the way you get there is you'd come into the studio, you'd go to the page templates, you'd scroll down, and then you're going to see all of these puzzles right here. And I do keep getting the question asked, hey, how do I add dot-to-dot puzzles? Pretty easy. So let's just go ahead and add that image back to a page. So once something is added to a page, that option is going to be in the top menu for your images. So you can click that and start creating those puzzles. Kristen, when I tried to ask questions in the Book Bolt Studio Facebook group, it didn't go through. Are all members of that group able to make posts there? Kristen, I do believe they are. I literally just set up the permissions for that the other day. I need to take another look at that. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will look at that after we get off the call. Mona, I got a fix error and try again. Content file has an incorrect extension message. I tried PDF, JPEG, and PNG. What am I doing wrong? I want to create a cover. Mona, I do not know. Please put in a help ticket. So help menu, attach that PDF so that we can take a look. Child of God, can low content books be downloaded for ebooks? Can low content books be downloaded for ebooks? Will the buyer be able to use templates? I'm not exactly sure what you mean. So ebooks on Amazon, completely different than paperback or hardcover books, right? With paperback and hardcover, they are actually physically printed on a printer, bound together, and shipped to the customer for someone to write in. Now, if you take a download, so let's go project, you download this project and you try to upload that to an ebook, it's going to give you an error. Why? Because ebooks have different dimensions and different requirements. So if you want to do that, I probably wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to do that, right, because it's really hard to write in an ebook when you don't have a pen and paper, come to new project, you want to do a custom size and then enter in the size from Amazon KDP that you get for your ebook. Ricardo, finding a niche is a personal thing. One has to identify what they're interested in. This may not match what the market is looking for, though. Oh my gosh, if I could just repeat that 100 times, I absolutely agree. And that's the thing, guys, is that you're not necessarily creating what you are interested in and expecting to run a business off of it. That's why every single week we hold these live calls. I show you a low content niche first, and then we get into the creation and working through the theory and everything. Because if I just go and create something, I have no idea if there's even a market that cares, that exists, that wants to buy the products that we're selling. It's so much easier to identify a market that's already there and hungry for a product, and then just produce a great product for that market. Let's see here. Alana, hi. Finished laying out my first book. I'm uncertain what to do next. I'm having a bit of perfectionist paralysis. Can I check for problems before downloading from BookBolt to upload to KDP? So I don't know what you mean by check by problems, but you've created your book. You want to come up to project and download this project as a CMYK. Okay, so that's step number one. Step number two, and I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure why I get so many emails about this. But step number two is that it's going to download as a zip file, .zip. That is simply so the files are smaller in size and easier to work with. You want to right-click on that folder and extract them. When you extract it, you're going to have two PDFs, one for your cover, one for your interior. Those are the files you want to upload to Amazon KDP. Now, Alana, in your case, you're going to go to Amazon. You're going to log into your KDP account. You're going to create your first book. You're going to go through the process. You're going to upload that PDF for the interior, upload the PDF for the cover, and there's going to be a button that says Launch Previewer. Don't worry, nothing's going live yet, but it's going to allow you to flip through your book, make sure that everything looks proper, and then on the very last page, you can publish it. So if you go through that process and you notice there's an error or something isn't looking right to you, come back inside the studio, make your changes, resave it, re-download it, and then go through that process again. It's not going to publish on KDP unless you get to that third page and click on Publish. Do you have a template with one half lined and blank on top for kids' books? So if you come in here, and you notice right here, there's this variant, right? But you can actually just do that with any ruled book you want. So you come in here to ruled, you'd pick let me pick a blank page. I think page 4 is blank. You'd want to just simply add a top margin. So if I come in here and I add a 4-inch margin, for example, I'm going to add that to the page, and then I'm going to come over here to page 4, and you'll notice there is a 4-inch margin, so it's blank at the top, it's lined at the bottom. You can always move these around if you want, right? I can move it like this if I wanted to. Now, does that look good? No, but that's how you do that. You simply just add a margin at the top of your book. This is my first call. Sorry for all the questions. Do not be sorry. That's literally why we hold these calls. Shelly Renee, perfect. Is it possible to clone a page, a template I created, to a different project, or save that template as a JPEG or whatever, have it available in the library to add pages. So Shelly, kind of what we went over before, let's say that let's pick this one. Let's say that this right here is your template. You want to come to Page, export it as a PDF, then open the File menu, upload that PDF, and once you go through this process, it's going to add it as a folder. So you can go into a new project, open up the folder, and you'll be able to right-click and use that as a template for your entire book. Devin, thank you. Shelly is wondering that too. Jacob, you can add page numbers at the end. Yes, absolutely. BTM, what to enter for low content ISBN. To publish your book, return to the edit paperback content tab of your title setup, update the print. So I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, but if you're doing a low content book, you don't need an ISBN. You're just going to select the low content box on that first page, and then you'll be able to publish your book. Now, Amazon does not consider coloring books, puzzle books, or activity books as a low content, so then you will be able to use their free ISBN for your book. Tina, are there Pixabay and Unsplash uploads in BB free to use, or do we have to use attribution? So when you open up the file library right here, Pixabay and Unsplash, big collection of free for commercial use images, but we do have the licenses linked at the very top. So you'll want to make sure that you go through and you look at these licenses. Now that being said, I do need to say, if you find a Disney image in here, it is not free to use. Okay, so I mean, it requires a little bit of common sense here. You can't use images or intellectual property from a company that is much bigger than you. Just common sense, guys. But yes, most of these images, you can read the licenses, absolutely free to use in your projects. Can you duplicate multiple pages instead of one at a time? So right now you cannot, but you'd want to clone one page, okay? And then you can clone it to as many pages as you want. Then you'd come back in, do the other page, clone as many as you want. And that's also how you'd move pages around. If you were like, hey, I actually want page 1 on page 2, or I want page 1 on page 5, or I want page 5 on page 1, all of that you would use the clone feature. Let's see. Wanda, I have a pre-made planner that is split 2 pages per month. I want to add the whole year to my project at once. So if it's split up, I have a pre-made planner that is split 2 pages per month. You just simply come in here to the file library, upload that PDF of what you have, and then you'll be able to use that as a template. Again, it'll be in a folder, right-click, use as template. Thanks, Neil. Of course. Sonda, good morning from Arizona. I just joined last night. Excited to be on the call and get started. Awesome, Sonda. That's great. Mona, how'd you get that into that upload area? So the uploads are going to be in the file library. It's going to look like 2 little picture frames right here. So if you click that, you'll be able to drag and drop in here. But if you're talking about PDFs, you want to click on Upload PDF, this big blue button here, and that's going to allow you to pick your PDF and select the margins of that PDF so that we can upload it and trim it properly so that it fits within KDP's guidelines. Annette, hi, I went to Interior Weekly Planner, but it was difficult to see. Okay. Let's see here. So if I come in here, Weekly Planner, I'm going to add this. I'm going to add this to a blank page. Let's pick one. I don't think I did page 12. All right, we're going to submit that. We're going to let that add. We're going to come down to page 12. And if you are having problems seeing it, you can always zoom in. Now, it's going to zoom in where your mouse is. Okay, so you notice I'm zooming in and out based on where my mouse is. I can zoom way in, I can zoom way out. Once you want to bring it back to the page so you can see everything, click on the Fit button at the very bottom, just like that. Let's see here. How do I change the project size and the number of pages once started on a project? So you don't change the project size. There's a way to do that, and I'll just describe that in a second, but to add pages, you literally just click the Add Page button, which will add pages to your project and automatically resize your cover. So if I added a page, so I'll just click Add Page here, okay? You'll notice if I come back to the cover, this is now going to say 101 pages instead of 100 pages. Now, if you want to change your book size to a different size, you are going to have to jump through some hoops because of the way that margins work on KDP. please, please, please go up to the help menu, go to the walkthrough tutorials. There's going to be like 20 or 30 videos there. It's one of the last ones I publish because this keeps getting asked so often, but that is going to be how to do that. So go to the walkthrough tutorials. You can also probably see this in the Book Bolt knowledge base that we've added a ton of new content for. Let's see here, Mark. Okay, Mark, let's see. Pierre? Hopefully I'm not butchering your name here. Can you insert pages into a book template? Example, I want to add 2 new pages between my current pages. Exactly what we just did. So notice there is 1 blank page between page 2 and page 4. So you come in here and just click add another page. And now there's going to be 2 blank pages here that you can then add to. And again, that's going to resize your cover correctly. Let's see here. Debbie, various teachers on... Oh boy, I lost my spot. Various teachers on YouTube say use RGB. Otherwise, without explanation, use CMYK. What's your opinion for low-content books? Low-content books, you want to use CMYK. Now, where did I get that from? I'm not just making it up. It's literally on Amazon KDP's website. They say CMYK is what you want to use for printed material, and RGB you want to use for online material, aka ebooks. Now, that being said, if you have been downloading RGB and uploading it to Amazon KDP for your low content books, is that going to be an issue? No, it really isn't. It's not going to make any difference for your sales. But that is just what Amazon says in their, I don't want to call it an FAQ, but in their details. T, why does it take so long to download my book I create? I'm sure it is my fault. So it's going to depend on a lot of things. How big your book is, how many images your book has, how many different layers your book has. Now, all of that combined, when you download, has to go through a process in the back end with our servers to make sure that the PDF is being flattened. Okay, so if you create a PDF somewhere else and try to upload it to Amazon, oftentimes you're going to get that it's not flattened, or that the fonts are wrong, or that the margins are wrong. So we have to do all of that math in the background. There's also a lot of people using the studio, so it is going to depend on a lot of different factors, but that's kind of why there's going to be a small little wait time when you are downloading your book. How do you add inside view into KDP? You don't. Wanda, the look inside feature, I think, is what you're talking about. So let's see if this one has it. Yep, this feature right here, where I can click on this and actually look inside, is no longer available for low content books. Now, they made this change a few months ago, which is unfortunate, but the easy way around that is to simply kind of take some screenshots or put some of your interior on your cover so that it shows up in the search results, and it's going to look pretty good too. So if I come back, let's see if any of these books actually did that, like this, right? Now, I don't know what the Eisenhower matrix is, but right off the bat, if I did know what that was, I can kind of see what the inside of the book looks like simply by looking at the cover. So I'd highly recommend that you guys take a look at that. How do we figure out how to find out what niche is high in demand? Would I go to the cloud on BookBolt? Excuse me. Yes. So again, if you go to the weekly calls here, highly recommend watching those last 2 webinars right here, which will run you through that entire process. But if you simply come in here and you're just like, hey, I wonder what some of the best selling coloring books are, right? I could set this to the top 100. I'm not going to change anything else. Click on search and just see what comes back. And you will be like, wow, this is doing really well. This is doing really well. But that is not a good long-term strategy. People mess this up all the time. They'll come in here and they'll be like, hey, I want to create a mindfulness coloring book for adults because clearly it's selling. The sales rank's under 100. Looks really, really good, right? Mindfulness. So let's just open this up. I'll show you why this is a horrible idea. Mindfulness coloring book for adults. Main niche, right? So we're going to copy that. We are going to go to Amazon, paste that in here, click on search, 5,000 results. Okay, I'm going to go down to the bottom, click on the 3rd page. Now there's over 40,000 results. So someone who just looked at, hey, let's see where the most sales are being made, and they didn't do any more research, just decided to get into this niche. And they're brand new to KDP, so they don't exactly know all the nuances and the ways to rank in these niches. Now they're competing against 40,000 other people. That is a recipe for a I don't want to say a bad time, but like just pain and suffering. That just doesn't sound very fun to me. Maybe you guys are different. But that's why every single live call, I go over a low content niche. Me personally, I'm looking for under 1,000 results. If I can find a keyword or a niche that has under 1,000 results, but also is actively selling and there's demand there, that is what you want to be targeting. Annette, if you write a niche, which website to check to make sure they don't have the same niche as others? Amazon.com. Again, if you guys go to the weekly calls, watch these 2 videos. They're going to explain all of that. Let's see. I heard a YouTuber say that I should increase the margin for a no bleed book. Is that true? 6x9 should be 6.25 by 9.25. So if you're using another software to create these interiors, you have to jump through 1.5 million of these stupid little hoops to make sure that everything is properly aligned depending on the number of pages you're creating, right? Because if we come inside of the studio here, notice how I picked a 6x9 book, right? Look at the overall dimensions. Notice how they look completely different. Why? Because it has a certain number of pages. In this case, it has 102 pages. This is all going to change depending on if you create a 6x9 book with 50 pages, 100 pages, 200 pages. You don't have to worry about any of that if you're doing this in the studio. You just come to project, new project, project name example, right? I'm just going to give it a random name. You pick a number of pages. So, hey, I want 143 pages. 143, oh my gosh, 143 pages bleed, right? And I click create project, and just like that, it's picked 143 pages. The dimensions, everything is going to be perfect for Amazon. So I've never looked at the margins because that's exactly what I do, and it uploads perfectly every single time. Thank you, Jacob. All right, Victoria, for some reason I can't images to display on Pixabay. Victoria, try an incognito window of Chrome. If you can't, please send a screenshot to the help desk under the help menu. Opti, would you wait a few days, weeks for Amazon to index books, or do you run your ads as soon as they are live? So I personally like to set up ads immediately. Now, if you're looking for organic sales, you definitely need to wait a few days, maybe up to a week in most cases, for them to index your book and start ranking it properly. But if you're running ads, you're not worried about organic traffic because the ads are going to show up first, hopefully, if you're bidding high enough, on the page, on the keyword page on Amazon. So that's what I personally do. It's not the right or wrong answer. You can do anything that you'd want. Can you duplicate a project with different margin sizes, number of pages, etc.? No, you can't. And the reason for that is because all of the margins are going to be completely different. But now that I'm reading that again, can you duplicate a project with different margins? Yeah, you can't do that. If you duplicate a project, it's going to be the exact same. I created Christmas notebook composition. Is what is in high demand right now, with that being this time of year with Christmas. Awesome. Okay, click preview on template to see them before you insert them into any page. Yes, Jacob, you can also do that. So awesome. I do appreciate that. So again, if you open up, there's a preview link, right? So be able to actually click on preview of everything you upload to see what it would look like. You can also do that inside of this right here, which is the interior templates library. So if you're like, hey, what does this finals planning tracker look like, right? You click on preview, you see exactly what it looks like. Let's see. Thank you for these calls. How do I turn off the page layout? What page layout are you trying to turn off? So since I'm not exactly sure, maybe you're talking about the cover. If you want to get rid of this template, it's going to be in the top menu. You can simply hide it, or you can make it, less opaque here. If you're talking about these guidelines and you want to change these, that is going to be under the settings menu, right? Page edges. Do you want them visible? Do you want them auto? Do you want them disabled? Page center and the KDP margins. You're going to turn all of that off or on if you want to. Hi, keep hearing about ads. Please give info on this. Yes, give me one moment here. I forgot to open these up before I went live, so I'm going to bring this over so you guys can see it. If you go to bookbolt.io, click on the blog, look for this article. You can just use the search bar, type in ads. It's going to be one of the top ones. This is a really long article, but if you read this, it's going to be basically a complete guide or course. It's completely free in written form because I'm just way better at writing than I am doing videos. This will get you going and make sure you understand all of the terms, how to start, how to, format your ads, so that after you get done reading this, you can launch your first ad in like 3 to 5 minutes. So I'm going to leave this up while I keep running through comments. Highly, highly, highly recommend. If you've not read through this, go read this article. Let's see, Barbara, I purchased PuzzleWiz before it was part of BookBolt, so I have a separate login for it. I think you said it's inside of the studio. Where to find it? So, Barbara, you might need to put in a help ticket if we've not switched your account over yet. But if you are inside of the studio, you want to click on this little puzzle icon. This is actually the page, the interior templates library here. But you simply scroll down, or you can use these tags at the top, right? So, word puzzle and mazes, these are all going to be right here. Shelly, thanks for the PDF save page explanation. I will demo. Will you demo it, please? Shelly, I did that in a video that we published maybe a week ago. So help menu, go to the walkthrough tutorials. And it's going to be one of the last ones published. And it goes step by step through that entire thing. I've lost my spot again on YouTube comments. Let's see. How do we get images to come up on Pixabay, etc.? When I search for an image, nothing comes up. Victoria, maybe they do not have a certain thing for that, but you want to simply come in here and type in Pixabay, and I could type in, car, and click on search, and then I have all these little car options. Now, if you're not seeing this, try an incognito window of Chrome, and if not, please send a screenshot to our help desk under the help menu. Shelly, and by the way, these calls are awesome. Thank you for your time, expertise, and humor. No problem, Shelly. I'm glad you're getting some value out of them. Victoria, do I need a different membership to access? No, these are Pixabay and Unsplash are completely integrated inside of the studio. Every single kind of account has access to this. You can add pages, how to remove pages. All right, so that is also going to be under the help menu in the BookBolt knowledge base. I'll show you how to do it, though. I just want to keep bringing to your attention, we are building out this knowledge base for everything that that we think is kind of a frequently asked question, right? Now, I want you guys to do me a huge favor, everyone who's listening. If you have any specific questions that are not included in this knowledge base, please drop them in the comments. We're going to take notes on that, make sure we get those added. Now, how do we delete a page? I'm going to put some text on this page just so you guys can see it here. Okay, so now we're going to see that this page 2 is the one that's currently selected, right? So I've selected page 1, now I've selected page 2. If you have a page selected, you're not going to be able to delete it. So if you wanted to delete page 2, you'd have to make sure that you have something else selected. Then you would right click and delete this page. It's going to say, hey, you're going to delete this page. Is that all right? Yep. And now you can delete it. Now, let me show you what it's going to look like if I have that. I have page 2 currently selected and I'm going to try to delete the page. It's going to say, hey, it can't be deleted. That is the reason why it needs to be not selected in order to delete it. Let's see here. Can I, okay. Cindy, I published 5 books so far. I've checked on BookBolt under the seller and I only have 1 book showing. What happened to the other 4 books? Cindy, they probably either haven't sold very well yet or they have not been picked up by the system so far. There is millions and millions and millions of books being added to the system week over week. So when it comes to your own account, the best thing you can do is just log into your dashboard and look at your sales through there. Pretty Society, how can I do the search in Spanish? Meaning, can I do the same bestseller search in Spanish utilizing BookBolt? You can do it in Spanish, but it's still going to be looking at the Amazon.com marketplace. Now, that being said, we did go over some low content niches a week or 2 ago. Now, not last week because that was Thanksgiving. A few weeks ago, different language books for word searches and crossword puzzles in the US market do extremely, extremely well. So I'd go back and try to find that in one of the live calls. Something definitely to take a look at, especially if you speak Spanish, which I unfortunately do not. I wish I did. I know like 15 words. Sorry, one more question on adding pages. Will the page number automatically update when you add pages? No, because the page number is based on the template you added, right? So if you added a page, that it's not going to have that template on it. So that's why I always recommend do your entire book first. Make sure your entire book is done, then add page numbers at the very end. Let's see here. Debbie, wow, thanks. I've uploaded 2 little journals in RGB so far. Only been doing this a week. Thanks, no problem. Wanda, absolutely CMYK is preferred for printed material. Yes, me too. I've been using RGB. See, guys, if you've used RGB in the past, there's really, truly nothing to worry about when it comes to uploading. Just know that Amazon kind of says CMYK for printed material. Okay. Jacob, if I insert pages 2 at a time in an existing project, will it adjust the cover automatically? Yes, so it's going to adjust the, let me turn this back on so you guys can see it. So notice I deleted a few pages, right? So when you add pages, it's going to automatically adjust the margins of not only your cover, but your interior pages. So in some cases, some people come through here and start a 50-page book and end up adding 100 pages. That's okay, but you're going to need to go through page by page and make sure everything is realigned. Why? Because the margins are going to be drastically different. So yes, it will update the margins, but you are going to have to update the content on your cover and your interior depending on how many pages that you added. Let's see here. Jacob, CMYK washes out the print someone. RGB submissions is okay. Amazon will change it to CMYK as required. T, can I use Bookable to make a medium content book? Absolutely. We'll love to do it in Bookable only. You can totally do that, right? The way you do that, same way you do low content books, you would simply come into the file library, upload the material you have in here, or if you have a full PDF, upload it through the PDF, and then you would then build out your book in your interior, and then you download it the exact same way. Jordan, I'm a complete newbie. Can you describe how to design the cover page? Is the right side or left side the front? Should I fill in the red area? So if you just look at this right here, okay, it's going to tell you what all these lines mean. Cover template, left to right. You're going to see that in the bottom right-hand corner. This is the front cover. This is the back cover. These right here, these are going to be cut lines, okay? So you don't want text and everything going past these lines. Why? Is because it depends on when they're cutting the book, how close they're going to get to this actual center, right? They might cut it way out here, they might cut it here. It's really important that you don't put anything that you don't want cut off inside the red area. Now that being said, let's just go ahead and let's just add this one, right? So if I'm using this, and let's pretend for a minute that this is a great cover, right? Notice I have this dragged across the spine, but the text is not going to be cut off, okay? That's perfectly fine. You can drag across the red areas. You just want to make sure, like in this example, if I tried to download this and publish this on Amazon, they are going to throw an error at me because there's text in the image and it's going past the cut lines. So something to keep in mind. Let's see here. I've lost my spot again. The chat's bouncing all around. Neil, question. Is there a way to apply your uploaded PDF file to a project all at once instead of one by one? Absolutely. So you'd add, again, you come to the file library, upload PDF. Okay, you upload your PDF, choose the margins of the PDF you're uploading. That's going to upload it into a folder. Right-click the folder, use that as a template, and you can do the entire project if you wanted. Still, the margins are confusing. Sorry, first call as well, especially when proofing on Amazon. There are 3 different colored lines, and I don't know which is which. So let's go back here and delete this. We'll fit this to the page. So right here, okay, it's going to tell you the red area, out of live/bleed. Your background artwork must fill the red area. Do not place logos, text, or essential images in the red area. If your artwork does not meet this requirements, it may be rejected. It's going to tell you all of this because we pull these templates. These templates are from Amazon. They're going to tell you exactly what that is. Now, I always pick bleed. If you're picking no bleed, it might look a little bit different, but you have to make sure when you come in here and do a new project that when you're uploading to Amazon, you're selecting the same trim size that you selected in the studio, you're selecting the same interior and paper type, and you're selecting the same bleed settings. Very important. If you don't do that, there are going to be issues. Wanda, Neil, does the number of pages you add matter? I learned that for booklets, 4 pages should be added at a time. Wanda, no, it does not. Now, when it comes to KDP, there is a minimum number of pages. I believe that's 24. So it needs to be over 24 pages. Now, if you create a new project that's 24 pages, you try to delete a page, you're going to run into an error because there is a minimum number of pages, but it should not matter how many you add. How do I see the print preview of what my book will look like? You download your project, you extract the file, you upload it to KDP, and you click on the print previewer button on Amazon KDP, which will allow you to flip through your book. Wealth Conscious Lifestyle. Neil, is there a way to delete bulk images that you uploaded by mistake, or do you have to delete one by one? Come up to project and you can clear all of the pages. So that's going to clear your entire project. So notice I have pretty much just one thing here, but if I click on clear pages, you'll be able to come in here and be like, all right, which ones do I actually want to clear? Well, there's only one page, so I can click page 2, click on clear. It's going to say, hey, everything on that page is going to be deleted. Is that okay? Yep. So there we go. Done. Let's see here. Oh, my name is Mimi. Nice. I typed frog, so let's go in here and look. Pixabay, type in frog, and a lot of frogs in here. So again, try an incognito window of Chrome. Otherwise, please open a help ticket. I have a few questions today. I've been a bit busy on BookBold. With Sudoku, are you working on another set of grids like 6x6? We are not. With the puzzles, you can also right-click on the puzzles to edit the contents. I should point that out because we do keep getting questions about that. Again, guys, that's going to be in the walkthrough tutorials and the knowledge base, which we are adding to. Child of God, thank you so much for being so interactive with us. Your answers to all my emails, and I'm thankful not to have to deal with a robot. Of course. Let's see. Hi, Neil. My question is, nothing I tried or read helps, or at least I don't understand. Well, what have you read? What have you tried? Drop me something in the question down there. You know 15 Spanish words, LOL. Yara, yeah, I probably know 15, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I do know you are very fluent in Spanish. Let's say, Pierre, actually another question. What happened to the dot-to-dot template? That's going to be in the top menu once you add an image. So let me just pick out a random image here. I'm going to add this one. And at the very top, you'll notice create dot-to-dot puzzle. So you'll be able to select that and then add your dots all around, change your dot color, yada, 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 change all your information and click on submit, which will then add it to the page. Dixie, I made a little notebook just to try the process. I made up a saying. A month later, I see someone made a NB with my same saying that I made up. So weird. Do I need to worry about this in the future? I personally really don't worry about what other people are doing. I only focus on what I can control, which is the number of books, the quality of books, the research. I know that's a highly contested subject with a lot of people, but that's just my personal outlook on things, right? There's really, especially if you created a saying that, you didn't trademark, it's probably not, behind a massive brand like Nike, right? So focus on what you can influence, and that's going to be within your own business. Cameron, is there a way to edit the images to be the same size in the scale option? It looks locked when I try. So what do you mean by that? So you have this up here, and again, we're not going to be able to change this. This is something we're taking a look into. But let me read that question again. Is there a way to edit the images to be the same size? What you can do is you'll notice these numbers are going to change. So you can simply add your other image and change the exact same scale width and top center, copy and paste this into your other image. But the width and height are not going to be changeable because of the way that they work in the back end. T. Coleman, hi Neil, for some reason I'm having trouble with downloading and uploading on the Amazon platform still. I did record the problem. It's too large and it will not send you. T. Coleman, two things. If you're going to download the project, you're going to download this project, it's going to download as a zip file. So I'm not sure your specific case here, but once you download a zip file, you need to extract it. Then you'll have the PDFs. Now, if you're still running into an issue there and something's not downloading properly and you took a video of it, thank you. Upload that to Google Drive and share that with the help desk. Super, super helpful. Child of God, just an FYI that I learned about Amazon bleed errors. Preview on Amazon show you the error pages. Yes, they do, and then you'll be able to easily figure out which page something went wrong on. Thanks so much, Neil. Of course, Nita. Hi, Neil. I had amazing sales for Black Friday. Sold 48 books, but it was all ad-driven and cost me too much. Struggling with identifying the right click cost. How do you find the sweet spot? So that's going to take a lot of going back and forth. Now, I don't like running ads on the holidays. I will run ads up to the holidays, but as soon as the holidays hit, the CPC, your cost per clicks for some reason just goes sky high, and everyone is bidding way more money because the traffic is higher. So what I recommend doing, and again, I'm going to bring that this one. I'm going to bring this open. What you want to do when you're doing your ads is once you have some ads set up, I recommend doing automatic campaigns first, then taking out and looking at the report, pulling in the keywords that are working, set manual campaigns, and then you're going to have to change and play with your CPC. If you're spending too much money, start lowering your CPC by maybe 10%. Monitor that for a few days. See what happens, right? Maybe you are not getting enough impressions. You're not getting any clicks. Maybe it means your CPC is too low. So it's going to be a constant kind of game of you going in and editing what you're spending, what your budget is. Maybe your budget is just overspending and you're running on a budget. Well, in that case, either up your budget or lower your CPC so that you can get more clicks for the budget you have. So it's a lot of it's a balancing act. There's not really one right answer there. T. Coleman, once you edit a page, how do you clone the image and add to other pages? So right inside the studio, right click and clone this page to others. Let's see. I'm doing a 250-page book. I've uploaded one by one so far from an upload PDF file. You answered my question about adding the full PDF. Can I still do that? Yes, right here. Open up my uploads, click on Upload PDF, and upload it right here. Let's see here. Jacob, what if the solutions to the puzzles are wrong? Won't that get us bad reviews? How does BookBolt quality check the puzzles? Not the word search puzzles, but those generated by BookBolt. Those are all done via an algorithm. So it's just math. It's all math in the back end, and that is how they are generated. Will I have to clear the project and start over? No, you won't. If you upload a PDF here, it's going to put them all inside of a folder, if you will, and you'll be able to go through and click and add which ones you want to add. Sorry I missed the session. Still trying to understand what and how. Bookbolt.io, log in, go to the weekly calls, watch these 2 last videos on this page. Super helpful. That will give you a great base understanding so that you can move forward from there. Shahida, my question is at the top, but KDP rejected my books twice, asking me to increase cover by 0.0125. There's nothing across the cut lines. Thanks. There's definitely something either across the cut lines or, and I've seen this too. Let me open up a cover here. Let me just pick a random image. I'm going to use this one. Some people are going to do this. They're not going to go across here. They're not going to go across here. Maybe it looks like that. That's going to cause an error too. Okay? Even though it's an image, it's not text. Please, guys, read what the template says. You have to actually drag it across the cut line. So in that case, come up here to help. Go to the walkthrough tutorials. There is a video that I just did maybe a week ago on this. If that still does not work, you need to reach out to Amazon KDP and say, please give me exact, what is wrong with this? Is it the right size? Because there's no reason to add X number of pixels or whatever they're asking for to your project. It is going to download as the right size every time. Something is just not formatted correctly from something that you added. So that is what you want to take a look at. Jennifer, any advice for ensuring imported images are 300 dpi? Thanks. Whatever you upload is going to be, ready for uploading to Amazon KDP. Should print correctly, so you really shouldn't have any worry about that. There is a how to unzip FAQ in case anyone's unsure how to unzip files. It is the first FAQ. Thank you, Mark, for mentioning that. Help. Let's see. BookBolt Knowledge Base. We're going to come in here and write here how to unzip files. This should probably remain at the very top because I've been using zip files for ages at this point, but apparently not everyone has. Totally cool, but this is how you do that, okay? Cameron, do you run ads to all your books? I run ads to quite a lot of my books. It's a lot of playing around with it, but I have been doing this for quite a while. You mentioned downloading your document as CMYK. Will Amazon reject RGB files? No, they won't. I've always personally found sending a printer RGB has been fine. They convert file on their equipment. They do. They do. There's nothing wrong with putting up RGB files for printed material. It's just what Amazon says they want, which is CMYK. Can anyone respond if they are seeing my messages, please? I've been skipped 3 times so far. I've not. This is the first time I've seen your username, so drop a comment. We are just over an hour, guys, so I am going to try to finish these comments up rapid fire because I do need to get going today, but we're going to try to finish up these comments. Thank you. I was so excited. You see, ask a question again. Child of God, should we insert blank pages between coloring pages? If so, how many blank pages and where should we place them? So my personal preference for doing that is, let's pretend that we're doing a coloring book. Every other page I make black. Why? Because Amazon's going to print a bunch of black ink on every other page. Now, if I was doing this for real, I'd probably put a coloring book page here and the black page is page 2. But what you want to do, and what I like to do, is put every other page as black, because Amazon will print a bunch of ink on that page and it's going to prevent bleed through, which means you're going to try to negate any bad reviews you're going to get from someone using like a big marker or something that would eventually bleed through their book and cause a bad review. So that's my personal recommendation. You don't have to do it. That's just something that I've kind of grown accustomed to. Sweet Caramel Smile. I forgot to click bleed and my project was rejected. Went back and found that. Fix it. Problem solved. Awesome. Julie, loving Book Bowl. Thank you for the tutorial and your expertise. Of course. Nicole, hi from Trinidad. I did an activity book with coloring pages that bleed off the page. When I download it as a CMYK PDF, the images stop short of the page's edges by a little. Can this be fixed? Nicole, if you download it as a PDF and you're looking at the PDF and there's just the tiniest little margin on the outside, the reason for that is not because the image actually goes to the edges. It's because of the PDF viewer that you're using. I promise that it goes to the edges. I'm talking if there's a really, really small margin, ran into the same thing. It turns out it's actually just the PDF viewer and how they are set up to display PDFs. Thanks as always, Neil. You rock. Of course. Hi, Neil. I have searched my published books by title. They do not show up. Is there anything you can do? Thank you. Cheerio. You want to log into your KDP account and look for the books that you have uploaded. They are all going to be inside of your KDP account. Book Bowl is going to pick those up based on sales and reviews, and we are constantly rotating and looking at the entire library on Amazon. Thanks, Neil. I will play with the click rates and see if I can fix it. Awesome. Juana, thanks, Neil. Appreciate the information. Of course, you're the best. Thank you. Awesome. Of course, thank you. What's the difference between bleed and no bleed? Let me just bring that up here. That's, again, going to be on the blog, and probably, I'm not sure if we added it to the knowledge base yet, but let me see if I can find it before we wrap this up here. I am not sure where it is. I know we wrote an article on that, but essentially, bleed is going to go all the way to the edges. If you drag them to the edges, no bleed is not. Let's see here. Last few questions, guys, and then we're going to wrap this up. Gwen, thanks to Neil. Have a wonderful day. Of course, instead of putting black, you can use the page to describe the picture on the right page if left page is blank. Yep. Bunny, thanks for your time. Of course, Flora, does the all black page you put behind coloring book pages ever smear onto the next page? I've not ever seen it smear when I order pages myself. Sometimes, though, since it's an all black page, you'll get kind of a, you know how printers, how much I said, you know how printers print, but when printers print like a solid image like that, sometimes you'll get white kind of lines as it prints across the page. But I think that's worth it to prevent bleed through, to prevent those bad reviews. Let's see, Neil skipped me again. I'm literally just reading through comments here. I wonder if there's an issue on my end, even though I saw my shorter message 2 or 3 minutes ago. If you drop your question again right now, I'll be able to answer it, but I am not seeing anything else show up. Diana, thank you for sharing your knowledge. Have a great day. Awesome. Cat, does the black page make the printing cost a lot more? Not if you're using black, which is kind of like a little hack with Amazon because it's going to be black and white with black interior. So, no. Cheerio, thank you so much. Absolutely. I just was in listen mode. It was great. Thank you for what you do. So much appreciated, of course. And last question, your coloring books should be bleed or no bleed. Totally depends on what you do. I always publish books in bleed, but I still keep everything within the cut lines. Is that the right way to do it? I don't know, but that's what I have always done. It's what I'm going to keep doing. That doesn't mean you have to do it that way. You just need to make sure that what you select inside of the studio is what you select when you upload to Amazon. That is really what you must 100% of the time do, so you don't run into any errors. So are you saying when you download it, it goes into a zip file that can be abstracted in the help drop menu? So confused. No, T. Coleman, you come up here, you're going to click download this project. It's going to download wherever you set up Chrome to download your files. You're going to go into that folder, wherever that is. Maybe it's your desktop. I don't know. You're going to right click and then extract that file on your computer, which you will then have your 2 PDF files. So guys, I'm going to wrap this up. We are 10 minutes over, so we beat last 2 weeks, I guess, by a few minutes. Hopefully you guys got a ton of value out of this. I really, really appreciate everyone sticking around to the end. I know we went over a little bit of time. We do that almost every week, but I try to get through all of the questions I can. Love Lang, let's laugh. I'm not seeing any questions from you. Please, please, please come up here, put in a help ticket so someone on the support staff can get whatever you are trying to put in the YouTube chat answered. For everyone else, we hold these every single week. So hopefully I see you guys next week. Same time, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard, Thursdays at 11. So thank you again. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll catch you guys next week. Thanks.